everyone. I would like to say thank you for joining this course. Today, we are going to discuss about data governance and interoperability in electronic medical record or EMR and how this topic impact cost management and insurance claims in the healthcare sectors. The objective of this course is to provide insight into how medical data governance and interoperability can support healthcare services, efficiency, cost management, and the role of EMR in insurance claim. Before we discuss the topic, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Tia Wijayanta. You can call me Setia. I'm a lecturer at the Department of Health Information and Medical Record, Semarang City, Central Java, Indonesia. I'm also actively involved in research and community service related to health information system based on technology. This is my first experience teaching in another country, especially in Malaysia. Honestly, it is an honor for me to share knowledge and discuss with students from abroad, and I truly appreciate this opportunity and hope to continue contributing to the field of education. Before I explain about medical record and electronic medical record or EMR, I want to ask you, what do you know about medical record? Yes. Medical record is a document containing patient identification data, examination result, treatments, procedures, and other healthcare services that have been provided to the patient. And electronic medical record refers to a medical record which is created using an electronic system and intended for the administration of medical record. It is important for us to understand the differences between three key concepts related to electronic health record, electronic medical record, and personal health record. The first concept is electronic medical record. EMR is an electronic record of an individual health information that is created, collected, managed, utilized, and referenced by authorized physicians or healthcare professionals with a single healthcare organization. In other words, the health data can only be accessed and used by medical professionals within the same healthcare facility. And the second concept is electronic health record or EHR. EHR is also an electronic record of an individual interoperability standards, meaning it can be used and accessed by authorized physician or healthcare professional across more than one healthcare organization. EHR enable the broader exchange of health data across different healthcare facilities. The last concept is that complies with national interoperability standard and can be retrieved from various sources. However, the key difference is that EHR is managed, shared, and controlled by the individual or the patient, In other words, the patient has fully control over their health information and can access and share it as they wish. By understanding the difference between these three concepts, we can be better prepared to embrace a more integrated and efficient healthcare system. The contents of the electronic medical record, or EMR, consists of two main components that are crucial. They are the administrative document and the clinical document. And now let us discuss about the administrative document. The administrative document included records related to patient registration and identification. These include basic data such as the patient name, address, identification number, and other administrative data required for registration and management within the healthcare system. Next, we have the clinical document. The clinical document is a complete record of the healthcare services provided to the patient. This includes the medical history, examination results, diagnosis, treatment, and all other medical information recorded during the patient care in the healthcare facility. These two types of documents are complementary and play a vital role in supporting high-quality patient care and ensuring the efficient functioning of the healthcare management system. This is the example of documentation of patient activity in healthcare. The first is registration. It is included registration standard, variable duplicate medical record validation, BPJS bridging, and the second is service, included input of procedure and diagnosis consultations, referrals for lab and radiology, electronic prescription, bridging with SysRouter, Siranap, and services history. And the next, supporting services, included input of lab result, success, clinical pathology, anatomy pathology, radiology, and the next, last, bridging and services history. Next, pharmacy, success, services, and sales inventory, transfer usage recording, real-time stock information, and the next, grouping and claim, is bridging with INASI or the next is bridging to IDRG. And the cashier or payment, success, real-time total billing info, non-cash payment, discounts, deposits, and receivables. And differences between manual medical record and electronic medical record. The first aspect is storage format and media. In manual medical record, patient health information is manually recorded on paper and stored in physical files. In electronic medical record, information is stored in a digital format and can be accessed to computer system or other electronic devices. And the aspect accessibility and mobility, in manual medical record, information can only be accessed at the physical location where the medical records are stored. mobility, and accessibility are limited. In electronic medical record, data can be accessed from various locations with internet access. Doctors or healthcare providers can view patient records instantly from multiple locations. In the aspect security and privacy, in manual medical record, risk of loss or damage to physical files and limited control over physical access. In electronic medical record, digital security system can be implemented to protect patient data. Access control can be better managed and electronically tracked. And the next aspect, efficiency and productivity. In manual medical records, the process of searching and updating information can take longer and it's less efficient. In electronic medical record, searching and updating can be done faster, improving efficiency and the productivity of healthcare personnel. And the next, uniformity and standardization aspect. In manual medical records, information format and presentation may vary across healthcare institutions. In the electronic medical record, the presence of more standardized data format facilitates easier information exchange between healthcare institutions. And the last, integration with other systems. In manual medical record, integration with other systems such as hospital management or scheduling system might be more difficult. In the electronic medical record, can be more easily integrated with various other health systems, improving coordination of patient care. The government of Indonesia has revised and updated the regulation, replacing the previous regulation of the Minister Head number 269 Menkes PAR 3 2008 with the last regulation, namely regulation of the Minister of Health number 24 of 222 concerning about medical records. This reflects the government commitment to improving the healthcare system through the introduction of relevant and up-to-date regulation. Furthermore, the digitalization of primary healthcare services begins with the complete digitalization of health data. This process aims to enhance efficiency in managing health data, facilitate easier access to medical information, and support faster and more accurate decision-making in healthcare facilities. The implementation of electronic medical record is also an aspect of hospital accreditation assessment. The focus area for this assessment included information management, document management, patient medical record, and health information technology. This is derived into 16 standards consisting of 51 assessment elements with several key highlights as follows. The first, the hospital safeguard confidentiality, security, privacy, as well as the integrity of data and information to process that protect them for loss, theft, damage, and destruction. In the MRMICA standard 2.2. And the second is The hospital ensures the security, confidentiality, and ownership of medical record as well as patient privacy in MRMICA Standard 10. And the third, the hospital implements a health information technology system in healthcare services to manage clinical and non-clinical data and information in accordance with prevailing laws and regulation in standard MRMICA 13. This is next session. Outline the three key stages and priorities toward achieving integrated health services in Indonesia. The first is integration and development of health data, including design of health data architecture. And the next, development of big data system based on individual health identity. And the next, utilization and analysis of individual health data or powered by AI. And the next, expanded individual health identity. And the second stage and priorities is integration and development of application system, included design of health system interoperability architecture, development of integrated health facility information system, implementation of integrated health facility information system, and expansion of the coverage of integrated health facility information system. And the third stage and priorities is development of health technology ecosystem, included design of infrastructure and security for health information system, expansion of supporting infrastructure for telemedicine, implementation of a regulatory sandbox based on AI, blockchain, and IoT, expansion of licensing for health technology innovation. Satu Sehat is a health tech ecosystem designed to provide quality and integrated healthcare services in Indonesia. Satu Sehat platform, a digital platform that connects various healthcare services, enabling information exchange and supporting an efficient healthcare management system. Below, we will discuss the various components that make Satu Sehat and how it contribute to creating a more efficient and interconnected healthcare system. And the first, Satu Sehat data means data that is managed and exchanged within the Satu Sehat ecosystem, including individual health information and other essential data. The second is Satu Sehat medical record. Is electronic medical record that integrated patient health information digitally, making the medical data management and access easier. And the third, Satu Sehat SDMK, means human resources in health or SDMK within this ecosystem supporting better healthcare delivering to training, development, and management of healthcare professionals. And the next is Sehat Indonesiaku apps. It's an app used by the public to access healthcare services, track health status, and interact with the national healthcare system. And the next, Satu Sehat Mobile is a mobile apps that allow user to access healthcare services and health data conveniently from their mobile devices. And the next is Satu Sehat Logistik. Satu Sehat Logistik is a logistic system supporting the delivery of medicine, medical equipment, and other healthcare supply within the ecosystem to ensure timely availability. Through the integration of these various components, Satu Sehat aims to enhance the quality of healthcare services in Indonesia with a more connected and efficient system. The development of the Satu Sehat technology platform and the integration of healthcare services are guided by four key principles. And the first is standardization of architecture and specification. The second, mutual benefit to accessible services and integrated information. The three, compliance to system integration. And the last is collaboration within the health industry ecosystem. These principles are aligned with the core values of the electronic-based government system or SPBA, which emphasizes integration, sustainability, efficiency, accountability, interoperability, and security, further reinforcing the foundational principle of health technology platform development. How does the Satu Sehat platform realize integrated healthcare services in Indonesia? The Satu Sehat platform embraces integration and standardization using technology like F-Hire, HL7, middleware, and open AHR to unify various existing health systems. There are four main focuses within this platform, such as digitalization, standardization, integration, and datasets. Let's explore how Satu Sehat operated across different sectors. First is about patient point view. Satu Sehat is integrated with the Citizen Health apps or Satu Sehat Mobile, which offer personal health record, health promotion, personalized education, and integration with wearable device for real-time health monitoring. Next, from the government sector, Satu Sehat generates an integrated dashboard that helps the government make healthcare policy based on evidence-based data, allowing for more information decision making. After that, from healthcare facilities sector, the platform facilitates data and system integration across healthcare facilities, making it easier to exchange medical information between hospital, clinics, and other healthcare services. And moreover, from health industry stakeholder sector, Satu Sehat empowers data to data enrichment and enable better insight that improve the quality of healthcare services to deeper data analysis. The last is community sector. Through the ASIC apps, Satu Sehat enables community health reporting, allowing broader and more integrated health monitoring at the community level. In this way, Satu Sehat connects various elements of the health ecosystem to create more integrated and efficient services. The Satu Sehat platform is committed to information security in the healthcare sector and ensures the security standards comply with both national and international standards recognized in over 100 countries. Furthermore, the Satu Sehat platform is registered and complies with internationally recognized information security standard, namely ISO 27001 2013 and ISO 27799 2016. On other hand, ISO 27799 2016 is a standard that specifically addresses the management of information security within the healthcare sector. This standard provides guidelines on how to protect patient personal and medical data, which is critical to ensure the protection of sensitive health information by complying with this standard. Satu Sehat ensure that the health data managed and processed within this ecosystem remaining security and protected. With both of them, Satu Sehat meets not only national requirement but also global standards in managing and protecting health data. And the terminology standards used in Satu Sehat include internationally recognized systems such as ICD-10, ICD-O, ICD-9CM, ICD-MM, ICD-PM, DCOM, LOINS, and SNOMED City. ICD-10 is International Classification of Disease. 10th edition is the global standard used for classifying disease and other health conditions. ICD-O, International Classification of Disease for Oncology, is specifically used for classifying cancer and tumors. ICD-9CM is International Classification of Disease 9th revision. Clinical modification is the previous version of ICD-10 still used in some systems. And ICD-MM is International Classification of Disease used to classification of mental and behavioral disorder. I'm sorry, identifying maternal death during pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum period. And ICD-PM for identifying perinatal and death. And DCOM is digital imaging and communication in medicine standard. And LOINS is logical observation identifier name and codes is a coding system for identifying medical observation such as laboratory tests and clinical measurement. And SNOMED City is a comprehensive coding system for classifying medical condition, procedure, and clinical findings. The use of this standard ensure interoperability in the EMR interface, allowing accurate and consistent medical data exchange between different healthcare systems. And one more, capital L standards is the National Health Services Action and Financing Code, or KPTL, is a terminology developed by collecting and detailing action terminology that have previously been restricted to clinical concept. However, the information and the variation of different action from a cost perspective has not been provided yet. And the user interface of EMR portal, EMR portal on Satu Sehat is designed for easy access and management of health information. And the feature included dashboard, easy navigation, access to medical data, security and privacy, and patient access. And the benefit of interoperability between EMR and Satu Sehat are crucial in enhancing the healthcare system in Indonesia. Some of the case benefits included centralized and reliable health data is to enable the storage of integrated health data that is easily accessible and secure. And the second, interactive dashboard and dataset. It is provides interactive data view that are easy to understand, aiding faster decision making. And the third, national health data analytics allow for national level health data analysis, providing a comprehensive picture of the public health status. And the next, health trend monitoring. Healthcare facilities monitoring of health trends, helping to identify potential health issue early. Support for education and research too is integrated data can be used for research and scientific development in healthcare as well as educational purpose. With this interoperability, we can create a more efficient and integrated healthcare system. And the link of Satu Sehat platform, this is link, can access it by website. The URL is satusehat.kemkes.go.id. Challenge in the interoperability process of EMR with Satu Sehat, including first, human resources, limited or non-existent IT personnel with the necessary skills to manage and support the EMR Satu Sehat integration. And the next, inadequate IT competencies for effectively integrating these two systems. And the IT governance aspect, lack of clear IT management practice, which can hinder the success of integration and the coordinate management of information technology between EMR and Satu Sehat. And the cost aspect is high development and maintenance costs required to ensure the optimal and connected functioning of both EMR and Satu Sehat system. And the next, infrastructure expands to support seamless and comprehensive system integration. The transformation of the healthcare cost management system has three primary objectives. The first, available, adequate, and sustainable, ensuring that the funds available are sufficient to meet healthcare needs and can be sustained in the long term. And the second is equitable allocation, ensuring fair distribution of funds across different sectors and healthcare services so that each individual or group has equal access. And the three, effective and efficient utilization, optimizing the use of availability resources to ensure healthcare services are delivered in the most effective and efficient manner, avoiding waste and improving outcome. Achieving these three objectives allow the healthcare cost management system to better support the delivery of high quality and affordable healthcare services. In Indonesia, there are two types of insurance claim commonly used. The first is private or non-BPJS insurance claims. These claims are from private health insurance provided by private insurance companies. Typically, these claims cover medical expense not covered by BPJS Health or provide additional coverage for more extensive healthcare services. And the second, BPJS Health insurance claims. BPJS Health is a national health insurance program managed by the government. This claim covers various basic health services provided through healthcare facilities collaborating with BPJS, including outpatient, inpatient, and other medical procedures. Both types of claim have different procedures and depend on type of insurance that patient holds. Type of health financing, so private insurance claim include first is primary payer. Primary payer is primary insurance is the first plan that pays when a patient gets medical care and a bill is generated. Think of it like the first respondent in the billing process. And the secondary insurance is the plan that pays after the primary insurance has done its part. It works like a backup for both the patient and the healthcare provider. And the third is out-of-pocket payment. It is direct payment made by individuals for healthcare services that are not covered by their insurance or by those who do not have insurance. Types of health financing through BPJS health insurance claim include: what is BPJS health insurance? BPJS Health is the national health insurance system managed by the government of Indonesia to provide healthcare access to all citizens. Two types of BPJS participants. Let's explore more detail. The first, PPI, or reception of contribution assistance. That means groups that are supported by the government in paying BPJS health premiums. This includes individuals categories as poor and unable to afford the premium. And the second is non-PPI. That means groups who pay BPJS health premium independently, typically workers with a certain salary or the general public who choose to participate in BPJS health. Both of these groups play a crucial role in the national healthcare financing system, which aims to provide healthcare services to all segments of society in Indonesia. The payment system in BPJS Health consists of two main types, differentiated between primary healthcare services and primary healthcare facility or FKTP and advanced referral healthcare facilities of FKRTL or hospital. Here is an explanation. In primary healthcare or FKTP, have two method payment system. The first is capitation. What is capitation? Capitation is to be paid in advance every month based on the number of registered participants and the capitation rate according to the applicable regulation. And the non-capitation is to be paid according to the services provided by the primary healthcare through the claims mechanism. And in hospital, have also two payment method. And the first is INA-CPGs. The INA-CPGs tariff is a packet rate that includes all components of hospital resources used in both medical and non-medical services. Under the system, hospital costs for patient care are calculated with one predefined package rate. And the second is non-INA-CPGs. Non-INA-CPGs tariff refers to the rate for specific services that are billed outside the INA-CPGs tariff, such as specialist service not covered in the package. The payment method in primary health facilities consists of two types, capitation and non-capitation, and the, uh, which cover various types of services provided to BPJS health participants. The first including include service administration, promotive and preventive individual care, medical examination, treatment and consultation, and the next health screenings. And the payment method non-capitation such as ambulance service, referral program medication service, support examination services in chronic disease management program, and etc. And the payment method in hospital have two method also. The first is inasi PCS tarif, included services administration, basic medical examination, treatment, and consultation in the emergency unit. And the next, inpatient care in intensive care units. And the non-inasi PCS tarif, such as continuous ambulatory peritoneal dialysis or CAPD. And the next, assist, assistive health devices. INASIPHISIS is a case make or case grouping based on clinical characteristic and the use of resources that are relatively similar. And the basis for case grouping use the first ICD-10 for diagnosis and ICD-9-CM for procedure or actions. There are ICD-10 more than 40 40,500 codes. And the current INASI PCS tariff list consists 1,075 case groups comprising 289 inpatient case group classes 1, 2, and 3, and 289 outpatient case group. The grouping of INASI-PG's tariff is based on hospital class, hospital ownership, and regionalization. Additional payment or top-up for special CMK, such as medication, procedure, investigation, prosthetics, subacute, and chronic. Currently, the Indonesia Diagnosis Related Group is being developed and is in the trial phase. And the user interface of the INA-CPG's e-claim application consists of two user role groups. The first is claim administration group. This role used for entering and managing claim data. User in this group are responsible for inputting claim information to verifying data and ensuring that the claims submitted follow the applicable procedures. And the second role is setting and maintenance group that used for configuring and maintaining the INACPG's application. This group is responsible for updating the application, setting system parameters, and ensuring the smooth operation of the application. With this clear role division, the INACPG's Acclaim application can operate efficiently with its user having access that match their task and responsibility. Excuse me, this time Azan, uh, could we pause this course or next? Uh, please pause the course until the Azan is finished. methods to ensure claims are processed effectively and accurately. Here is Here is the BPJS claim workflow integrated with Satu Sehat. The first, Satu Sehat send patient data to healthcare facility, which includes the necessary medical and administrative information for the claim process. And the second, the healthcare submits a claim to the a claim application. This application is used to enter and manage the claim data submitted to BPJS. And the third, a claim perform data matching with Satu Sehat to ensure the submitted data is accurate and correct. And the fourth, a claim application forwards the claim data to BPJS for further verification. And the match data is sent for verification processing. And the fifth, BPJS sends the verification or purification result back to Satu Sehat to confirm whether the claim meets the required condition and standards. And the sixth, Satu Sehat delivers the final claim result back to the healthcare, providing confirmation of the claim status. With this integrated claim workflow, the BPJS claim process becomes more efficient, transparent, and easily monitored. Hospitals are no longer required to submit physical documents or emails for the claim process. And the new rule claim between EMR and Satu Sehat is use webhook process. What is webhook process? Webhook is a tool that allow a system to send real-time notification to another system about certain events in the webhook follow in healthcare. It connects various systems like EMR and BPJS claims. For example, when patient data is updated or a claim is processed, the webhook sends notification directly to the relevant system, and this enables real-time information exchange, speeds up coordination between healthcare facilities, and support faster decision-making without waiting for manual updates. The Satu Sehat platform utilizes a webhook mechanism to verify the eligibility of BPJS healthcare coverage in real time. By using webhooks, the system can send verification requests to BPJS and receive a response quickly, ensuring the BPJS participant can immediately confirm whether the services provided are covered by the BPJS program or not. And this BPJS claim webhook process between healthcare, Satu Sehat with F-Hire and insurance instansi. And the finally conclusion the implication of EMR interoperability on cost management and insurance claims, and the aspect of that. The below are some key aspects impacts by EMR interoperability. And the first aspect is data governance. Data governance uh, interoperability enhance the accuracy, consistency, and security of patient data, as well as enables data exchange between healthcare facilities, ensuring more accurate and reliable information. And the final aspect, it accelerates the insurance claim process, reduces administrative costs, and maintains hospital cash flow as claims are processed faster and more efficiently. And the services quality aspect, interoperability improves care coordination by providing access to more comprehensive and up-to-date data, thereby enhancing the quality of medical decision-making and facilitating better coordinated care. And the user satisfaction aspect, it facilitates access to medical data, reduce the duplication of procedures, and enhance patient and healthcare professional satisfaction due to quicker and more efficient access to medical information. Let's open the floor for discussion. Are there any question or experience regarding electronic medical record or EMR implementation in your institution or country? I'd like to hear your insights on the challenge faced, the benefit observed, or any lesson learning from the EMR implementation process. Please. Okay. Any question or discuss?
Thank you so much, Mr. Sedia. Okay, my
Okay.
student, do you have any question? Any question to ask from Mr. Sedia? Please take this opportunity to ask question because there is no chance after this. Okay, so there is a rare, very rare uh, sharing of thought, okay, experience, a vast experience from Mr. Setia, okay, coming up with the managing real life application involving in managing EMR and EMR system implemented in Polytech. So it is a great opportunity having you with us, UITM, a great collaboration with us. And so please, student, you can ask anything about EMR, the system, the structure, the content, okay, the governance. Okay, so I think I got question here, okay, uh, in the chat box. So I read it through. Okay, I have a question which have the implementation of Satu Sehat. Okay, Satu Sehat led to cost saving for hospital or insurer. So that is the question. Okay, so I think that is the question. Okay. Wow. So actually, they have two questions here. The first is, which has the implementation of Satu Sehat led to cost saving, okay, for hospital or insurer? Is it the adoption of Satu Sehat, okay, contributed to cost saving for hospital or insurer? Okay, the second question here is, what data governance policies are applied in Satu Sehat to protect the patient privacy? All right. That's are the two questions. Thank you, Nur Ilham. All right.
Okay. Thank you for question. It's good question. Let me try to answer this question. In the first is has the implementation of Satu Sehat to cost saving for hospital or insurance? Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, and this is a very important question based on the main goal of Satu Sehat as a national health data integration platform. Cost saving can potentiality occur through administrative efficiency, reduce duplication of medical tests, and faster data access across health facilities. However, to confirm whether there has been uh, significant cost reduction,
Mm.
evaluation data, and for hospital and insurance company will be needed.
Mm.
I think this my answer. So uh, maybe can be answered on other or uh, Mr. Iswan can
Mm.
maybe
All right, my student tadi, Nur Ilham, did you answer the question?
are clear.
Did Mr. Stetya answer the question and answered your question?
Yes, Doctor.
All right, thank you. All right,
Okay, thank you.
okay. Can we have
And
another
the
question?
question,
Oh, our second question. Okay, sorry.
second question, yeah,
All right, all
second
right.
question. Uh, the question: what data governance policies are applied in Satusia to protect patient privacy? Oh, good.
Mm. Mm.
Yes. Uh, as Satu Sehat
Mm.
implements several data governance policies, such as data encryption, role-based access control unit, uh, and other that. And this support by regulation in Indonesia. The security is uh,
Okay, data governance.
yes.
Mm.
And the security and standard in the Satu Sehat
Mm.
and the government commit to information security in the healthcare sector and
Mm.
ensures the security standard comply with both national and international standard recognized in over 100 countries.
Wow.
This regulation can be support. Uh, Also, security it's have a challenge. Ya, security apa
Mm.
ya?
Wow.
Walaupun sudah didukung dengan regulasi, itu
Mm.
kadang-kadang juga sekarang ini banyak sekali tantangan elektron
Mm.
keamanan data or data security in the health sector.
Mm.
So, what can be uh, improve data security is the first not only a government responsibility but the personnel uh, have to respect to all the data
Mm.
uh, terutama tentang personal data.
Hmm.
Personal data have not shared to other, ya,
Hmm.
terutama data-data yang privacy,
Hmm.
data-data yang sifatnya rahasia seperti.
Hmm.
Maybe it's my answer is one.
Okay. Nurliham, did you answer the question?
Yes, Doctor. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Setia.
Wow, so
Yes.
I am very impressed. So you already have the certified ISO for the management of the system and also the MR itself. Wow, this is very good. So okay, all right. Can we have another question? Okay, ada soalan lagi ke from my student? So please add anything because this is actually the real life application. This is the real life practice that exposed to you from Indonesia. So that is very good. Okay, because mungkin my student have been exposed to EMR system. Perhaps we have one teaching hospital which is called as Hospital Al Sultan Abdullah. Okay, at UITM.
Okay.
So I think they have their own EMR system. Okay, that is from the side of teaching hospital in one public university. So this is new expose, new knowledge, new managerial skill of managing EMR and the system of EMR themselves. So from the contact of Indonesia. So please learn as much as uh, possible the necessary knowledge. Ada soalan lagi ke? From the floor? From my student? Tak ada soalan? Hmm. Okey, kalau tak ada soalan, saya ada soalan. Boleh Okey, alright. Okey, tak apa, saya simplify it in bahasa in bahasa. Okey. Apa so this very good system, they already certified ISO. Wow. Okay, so macam mana, adakah sistem satu sihat ni dia allow for the integration dengan nearby hospital? Contohnya macam saya sakit, saya sakit pergi ke Hospital Politeknik Politeknik Semarang, and then rekod saya dah ada di sana. So one day saya sakit, saya tak pergi ke Hospital Semarang, saya pergi ke GH dekat Semarang. Adakah boleh this exchanging of record, my past clinical history can be transferred, boleh transfer daripada Hospital Politeknik kepada GS Hospital. Boleh tak doktor mendapatkan the 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 complete clinical history ataupun macam mana? Okay, they allow the sharing of clinical history of medical record from different hospital. Okay, so that is my question. Boleh dapat kan Cik Setia? Ataupun
Okay.
okay, boleh faham?
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Alah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm sorry. My English is
Tak apa, tak apa, Bapak.
not
Sini,
good.
tak apa, tak apa, tak apa. Bapak cakap dalam
Ya,
bahasa
nah,
okey. Okay, okay.
bahasa. Oke. Eh, bisa ya, Pak.
Oh,
Jadi
bisa. Boleh. Oh, boleh bertukar. Okay.
data bisa bertukar. Ya,
Okay,
jadi
okay.
dari materi tadi yang saya
Hmm.
sampaikan, jadi memang salah satu kelebihan
Oh, I see.
electronic medical record is
Hmm.
can share data to
Hmm.
any healthcare.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The-
Oh, for
with
the
the standardization FHIR
wow,
HL7,
this is the
the data patient can integrated to other healthcare. Yeah. It's the main the first of materi is electronic health record.
wow. So they already have the
Yes.
ER, ya.
Yeah, EHR. Kalau EMR is have one health facility, healthcare facility, but in the electronic health record, the data patient can be integrated to other healthcare. Yeah, I think this my answer.
Okay. Wow, that's very
Okay.
good. Okay, actually,
How
okay,
di Malaysia seperti apa, Pak? Mungkin bisa
dia
dijelaskan
macam
kalau di
okay,
Malaysia.
that's very good. So they allow
Ya,
the integration of
ya,
the sharing of EMR between hospital despite of the different regions. So that's very good.
oke.
In Malaysia, we have that kind of sharing, but it is limit. Dia terhad Bapak, dia terhad kepada IT hospital, participative
Hmm.
hospital saja. Contohnya macam hospital yang ada hospital information system, ataupun dipanggil sebagai IT hospital, especially hospital bawah kementerian saja yang allow for the sharing of record
Oh,
clinical
ya.
history. Kalau macam contoh
Untuk
KKM Hospital, GS Hospital, dia nak transfer
ada
apa
transfer
record
ya.
kepada UiTM Hospital, teaching
Oke.
hospital, so tak boleh. So
Hmm.
they cannot be shared. So sebab apa? The one of the limitation dia kami ada satu polisi. This is actually the generic policy yang mengatakan rekod perubatan pesakit tidak boleh dibawa keluar daripada kawasan hospital.
Oh,
That actually the limitation kita. Jadi kalau
hmm.
kita boleh share rekod, KKM boleh share rekod kepada UiTM Hospital, bermakna berkongsi maklumat rekod perubatan pesakit kepada hospital luar. So itu tidak dibenarkan lah. Dibenarkan boleh dengan syarat mesti kebenaran daripada pengarah hospital. Kalau pengarah hospital authorize that, give the consent, barulah maklumat tersebut boleh disebar lah. So jadi the sharing of EMR, EHR tu berlaku. At the national level kita ada EHR, tapi taklah secara full-fledged implementation. Taklah sangat orang kata full EHR. Kita masih lagi partial EHR lah. Tapi kami ada that kind of the strict policy lah. It must be upon the consent of the hospital director. Itulah kalau ada sharing of record hanya between the KKM hospital saja yang menjadi IT hospital dan menggunakan HIS. Otherwise itulah. Okay. Itu di peringkat di Malaysia lah, Bapak. Amalan di Malaysia. Okay. Alright, thank you so much for the response. It's very good insight. Ada apa lagi daripada my student? Okay. Nak tanya soalan apa kan? So this is actually mungkin my student, so you akan bekerja di Indonesia ke kan? So there is a lot of opportunity to work in Indonesia because they already have the good established EMR system and also okay. Alright. Okay, there is opportunity. Okay, kalau tak ada apa, I think okay, thank you so much to Mr. Sekja Wijayanta for a very insightful, for a very knowledgeable talks. So that it is hope that my students have already grabbed the necessary knowledge, so that they can be used not only in their lesson but also their future career path, insyaAllah. Okay, back to you, MC. Siapa MC?
Thank you.
Okay. Apa khabar, Ibu?
For this one. Thank you very much.
Sama-sama, Bu.
Alhamdulillah. Okay.
Maaf, Bu. InsyaAllah, Bu. 22 saya bagi talk, insyaAllah. Okay, insyaAllah.
Okay. Full we can learn together about head data management, okay?
Okay, insyaAllah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Alright, MC ada apa-apa lagi, MC?
So far tak ada, Doktor.
Alhamdulillah.
Saya nak conclude.
Okay, sila.
Okay.
Terima
Thank you,
kasih,
Mr.
Mbak MC.
Okay, thank you.
Khadijah.
Okay, kita ada sikit. Boleh. Okay, okay, MC. Okay.
Okay. Okay, dear honorable guests, we will now proceed with the photography session. Kindly
Okay.
turn on your
Alright.
camera for these purposes.
Okay, my student, please open up your cam. Okay, alright. Jarang-jarang kita bersama ni. Okay, thank you so
Can I
much.
take a picture, please? Prof.
Okay.
Iswat.
Okay. Alright, thank you so much semua
Hmm.
Okay. Sorry lambat masuk, saya ada mesyuarat. Okay. InsyaAllah kita jumpa by 20 second Okay, insyaAllah.
Yes. Kota ke Semarang.
Okay, ready everyone? 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, satu lagi freestyle. Satu lagi. Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Prof. Iswan. Okay, it's okay.
Alright. Thank you so much semua. I see you on 23rd. Alright.
Yeah.
Assalamualaikum. Have a nice
Waalaikumsalam. Thank
Thank you
you,
very
Prof.
much.
Isman.
Thank you so
Alhamdulillah,
much.
insyaAllah. Okay, bye.
And with that, we conclude our academic talk with Protectors Indonesia. A heartfelt thank you to Mr. Setia Wijayanta, Mr. Siti Masrocha, and all attendees for participating and making this session a success. I would like to sincerely apologize for any mistake I made throughout today's session, and all that could come from Allah, and any shortcomings are from myself. That's all. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, everyone.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.